Good evening. I'm so glad you're here tonight. You've come to rest, to unwind, and to drift gently into sleep. Let's take a long, slow journey together. Not to a battlefield or a royal court, but to somewhere soft, somewhere gentle, somewhere where the past moves at an easy pace. Tonight, we will wander through the quiet streets of a medieval port town, a place by the sea, where lanterns sway in the night air, where the tide comes and goes without hurry, where merchants hum soft tunes as they close their stalls, and where you can hear, if you listen carefully, the faint creak of old wooden ships at rest. So settle in, let your shoulders loosen, take a deep breath, and as I speak, allow the images of this little town to fill your mind, a place that lived many centuries ago, a place that felt safe, simple, and quietly alive. Imagine you are standing on a worn stone path, smooth from centuries of footsteps. Before you, the harbor opens wide, a gentle curve lined with small fishing boats and a few tall merchant ships. The evening sky is soft gray and lavender, fading slowly into deep blue. The tide has come in, and you hear the faint hush of water against the hulls of boats. A gull calls somewhere far off, its voice muted by the calm air. There is the occasional creak of timber as the boats sway gently. Ropes dangle lazily, and lanterns have just been lit, their warm glow shimmering on the rippling surface of the water. A light breeze carries the smell of salt and tar, and somewhere close by, bread is baking, filling the air with a soft, yeasty warmth. There is no rush here. The day's trading is done, and sailors lean on railings, speaking in low voices, laughing softly now and then, never loud enough to disturb the peace. You take a slow walk along the quayside. Each step feels steady, unhurried. Old wooden barrels stand stacked neatly, filled with dried fish, with sacks of grain, with fragrant herbs bound in bundles. You notice a cat curled on top of one of the barrels, its tail flicking lazily as it half dozes, half watches. From a nearby warehouse, you hear the dull thud of someone moving crates, but they work slowly, without strain, as if they have all the time in the world. Above you, wooden balconies lean out over the street, draped with drying nets and bits of laundry. A woman hums a quiet tune as she gathers her baskets from a small stall, the sound soft and comforting. A little further on, an old man sits mending a sail, needle and thread moving gently in the lantern light. The fabric is heavy canvas, smelling faintly of seaweed and sun. You hear in the distance the muffled ring of a church bell, just a single tone marking the hour. Its echo rolls gently over the rooftops and seems to blend with the rhythmic splash of the tide. Turning from the harbor, you step into a narrow market street. The stones are uneven, and the walls of the buildings are close enough that you could almost touch both sides at once. Shops here are simple wooden structures, with shutters propped open by sticks. Even now in the fading light, a few vendors linger, finishing their day. One sells small clay pots, lined up neatly on a cloth. Another has a basket of herbs, sage, thyme, lavender, giving off a quiet perfume that hangs in the cool air. You watch as a boy sweeps the stones outside his father's shop, the bristles scratching gently against the ground. Somewhere a horse snorts softly, then stamps a hoof, the sound echoing off the walls. The market is not crowded now. Most people are home preparing simple suppers by their hearths. But a few linger, exchanging slow conversations about the tide, the weather, a cousin's new baby. Their voices are low, calm, unhurried. Further along, you pass a small forge. The blacksmith is packing away his tools. The fire is low, only embers now glowing faintly and giving off a warm orange light. You can hear the occasional soft crackle of the coals, like distant rain. A few iron tools hang neatly from hooks, dark silhouettes against the fading light. He wipes his hands on a cloth, nods to you with a faint smile, and continues stacking small bars of iron. There is no hurry. Tomorrow will bring more work, and the iron will wait until then. The air smells faintly of soot and warm metal, but not unpleasantly. It feels grounded, safe. As evening deepens, you wander through quieter lanes. Here the houses are half timbered, their beams dark against pale plaster. Small windows glow with candlelight within, each one like a little lantern in the night. You can almost picture the families inside, sitting over bowls of stew or bread and cheese, talking softly or simply resting after their day. Somewhere close by, you hear the gentle splash of water in a wooden trough, maybe someone rinsing vegetables for tomorrow's meal. A dog pads softly across the street, pauses, and looks up at you with calm eyes before moving on. The air carries the scent of smoke from hearth fires, mingled with the faint sweetness of baking apples. It is comforting, like a blanket around your shoulders. You find yourself near the edge of town again, where a small stone chapel sits overlooking the water. Its bell tower is simple, and a single candle burns in a niche by the door. You step inside quietly. The air is cool and smells faintly of old wood and beeswax. Wooden pews are empty, but you can hear the soft drip of water somewhere, perhaps from a roof tile. A single figure kneels in the corner, silent in prayer, not noticing you. You sit for a while, letting the stillness of the place wash over you. You imagine the generations who have come here, their footsteps worn into the stone floor. The world outside fades for a moment, and all you hear is the occasional soft sigh of wind through the cracks, and far off, the sea. When you step outside again, night has fully fallen. Lanterns glow along the main street, small halos of golden light in the darkness. A few voices still murmur in the distance, but the town is settling. The tide is out now, and the boats rest on wet sand, their reflections quivering in shallow pools. You walk slowly back toward the harbor. The air is cooler now, and you draw your cloak a little tighter. Somewhere, a shutter closes with a soft thud. Somewhere else, a dog gives one short bark, then is quiet again. The stars are coming out above one by one, faint at first, then brighter. You hear the faint tinkle of a wind chime from a balcony, and you pause to listen. The sound is delicate, like little bells carried on the breeze. A soft wave laps against a stone step, and you watch as the water pulls back, leaving thin trails of foam that catch the lantern light. You find a low stone wall near the water's edge and sit down. The stone is cool and smooth beneath you. You breathe in deeply, the scent of sea air, of wood, of distant smoke. Above you, the constellations turn slowly, patiently, as they have for centuries. This town, with its quiet people and simple rhythms, has lived through many seasons. It has known storms, yes, and traders from far lands, and countless ordinary days. But here now, in this soft night, it is still, timeless, safe. You close your eyes for a moment and imagine the soft sounds around you. The distant murmur of voices, the occasional creak of a ship, the gentle sigh of the wind through ropes and sails, the crackle of a hearth far off, and the faint, steady rhythm of the sea. As you sit there, time feels slower, like a tide that never rushes, only moves gently, and you feel your own breath falling into rhythm with it, in and out, soft and steady. The lanterns blur in your vision as your eyelids grow heavy. The quiet of the medieval port town wraps around you like a warm cloak. There is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to go. Just the calm, the night, the sea. And as you listen to these soft sounds, feel yourself drifting deeper and deeper into rest. Good night. Sleep well. And may your dreams be as peaceful as this little town by the sea.